विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ आत्मा कः? स्थूलसूक्ष्मकारणशरीरात् व्यतिरिक्तः पञ्चकोशातीतः सन् अवस्थात्रयसाक्षी सच्चिदानन्दस्वरूपः सन् यस्तिष्ठति स आत्मा. So we are seeing a very long definition of Atma, part by part of course, and the definition includes two aspects. Certain thing which is not Atma should be negated, and what is the nature of Atma, what it is, what Atma is also has to be told. So Satchidananda Swarupa etc., that is the nature of Atma. That also is told by the definition, as well as it is distinct from the gross body etc. also is told, and thereby the gross Atma is not gross body, subtle body. Atma is not any kosha, Atma is not waker, dreamer etc. That way it is negation also is there in the definition. And whenever this negation has a basis in the border of knower known, and the knower is I, known is not I. That's what it means. And that way sthula sukshma karana sharirat vyatiriktah etc. has been told. Therefore it simply means I am not the body, I am not this. Therefore and if you take into account this knower known etc., well, I am the knower, and body etc. is known. It's object of knowledge. It may be a gross body, it may be a subtle body, it may be a causal body etc. etc. or the waking experience, dream experience, all is there. I am not waker, I am not a dreamer, I am not a waking experience etc. So this is how waking experience is known to me. That also will be told later. So we are able to say that there is a world. When I say this, and the knower known etc., that division also has a basis in what? So we say that this is a world, and since it is known to me, like the Swami exists for you, then is an object of your knowledge. How do you say Swami exists? Because it's an object of knowledge, known to you, evident to you. So the known Swami also is a part of world which you know, and the way you don't take the world as yourself, the same way you don't take the Swami as yourself. So you never say I am Swami. Even Swami is included in not I. Swami is included in a known. This is very clear. This distinction is very, very clear to in our mind. So whether it is sun, moon, earth, black hole, or whether it is Swami, everything is known to you, and that is not you. So the criteria to conclude that this world, which is not I, what is the criteria? The criteria is it is known to me. There is no other criteria. This distinction has to be very clear in our mind. That the knower is knower, known is known. That's all. And this nobody has taught us, we know. But so far as body etc. is concerned, well, we have a certain difficulty. But other than that, at that place there is a confusion, knower known confusion. And but other than this body etc. out in the outer world, including the Swami etc. also, you have never felt that I am Swami or I am the pen, I am the microphone. You never feel that way. It's very clear in your mind, and you give the reason also. Why are you not saying you are microphone? You say it's an object, Swamiji. I am subject. Object means what? It's object of my knowledge. I am the knower. It goes without saying that way. So there is no other criteria. Well, certain things when we say are not I, certain thing, and Atma is something we say is I. And being the knower of an object and understanding that object that is known cannot be the knower, you conclude that this, since this everything is known and it is not the knower. But Shastra wants to extend the boundary. Shastra wants to correct the boundary, let me say that way. Correct the boundary of known and known, knower and known. And the knower I is the place where you can place your I sense. And I sense is placed in the knower, and anything which is known is being an object of your knowledge cannot be the recipient of I sense, and so it will be an object of this sense. And when, of course, with the help of Shastra, well, up to this is clear to everyone in the world. Everyone is clear about it. So Shastra's role come only when which is something known has been taken as a knower. Then Shastra wants to correct that boundary. And well, the first thing is when I say knower, I definitely include this body. Up to the dermis, I conclude that it is I am a knower, and that is up to dermis. Not even this, I have told you, not even you have included the pair of clothes which you are wearing. Of course, on outer world, it is always in the category of object of knowledge, so that is not a problem. But when Shastra says whether you check this body should be included in a knower or known, and then where we have inquired also, and we have found that body also is in the field of knower. It's an object of knowledge, because my expression is I am tall, I am short, I am lean, I am fat, I am black, etc., etc., or I am a human being. You can be able to say everything when you have a knowledge of the body. When you say I am tall, definitely you have a knowledge that the body is tall. When you say I am a human body, you know that is a human. I am a human being. Definitely you know that is a human body, and therefore that is for certain that you know this body. On account of it only you say I am tall, etc. And therefore I, the knower, in which I have included even the body, which is actually in the category of a known. It's an object of knowledge, and Shastra wants to correct this boundary. Better you take away this known thing called body, physical body, keep it outside. Outside means keep it in the category of known. Correct the boundary of a knower and known. Same way hunger also etc. is known to you. And the line goes further, and then we have seen even the senses also, and definitely I have the I sense in the senses, and well, that is also we have to correct, because our senses are something, sense organs, Basically, they are the means for me to transact in the world, to know the things. And therefore, I am the one who operate the eyes, I am the one who operate the ears. They are all instruments, and definitely one who uses the instrument is distinct from the instrument. That we know for sure. And so definitely even eyes, etc., even though I have an eye sense in that, when I see, I say I am the seer. When ears hear, I am saying I am hearer. Actually, that is being identified with those senses. I mean, including in the knower, I am saying that. Basically, they are also in the field of known only. Not only that, one who employs the senses, who is aware of the senses, I am aware of the function of the senses, function of the eyes, function of ears, function of smell, etc. And their non-function also I am aware of. Their malfunction also I am aware of. What eyes see, I know. What eyes do not see, I know. I see something else. Instead of one thing, I see something else. Malfunction, that also I know. And same way, so this is, I'm clear. I mean, whether, and even the functions are sharp, dull, and this all, I mean, its conditions also are known to me. And these senses which are do not do what they are supposed to do, that also I know. So I mean, the senses are really, in fact, I know my senses much, I mean, clearer than any other person knows about my senses. And therefore it's a very clear object of knowledge. All the senses also are clear object of my knowledge. Hunger, thirst are clear object of my knowledge. My body is a clear object of my knowledge. And therefore it should not be in the category of a knower. It should not be in the category of an I. It should be in the category of this. It should be in the category of non-I, etc. And for that matter, one need not separate physically something. Well, that is not possible also. One should do just a discrimination. One has to do a separation cognitively. Well, anyway, so same way, let us go further. Now, these are all external organs, instruments for transacting the world. There is an inner instrument also, and that is mind. That also I take help of. And so, same way, when I see a flower with the external organ called eyes, definitely eyes is seeing. And when I see a particular object called flower, something happens in my mind. Some change happens in my mind. And definitely that change which happens in my mind is called vritti. So the change is in keeping with the sight. And because the information which has been gathered by the eyes goes to the mind and brings a change, which is called a vritti or a thought. And so therefore, so in every cognition there is a modification or a change in the mind. And it may be, cognition means, seeing, hearing, etc. All these things, whenever it happens, any sense organ brings a data, corresponding data, definitely a change is occurring in my mind. And I am the one who noticed the change. Right? I am the one who is seeing the flower. I am the one who is seeing a cloth. I am the one, then I see this. So definitely I know that corresponding change has occurred. Now in my mind I say I have a flower, I have a clip thought. Afterwards I say I have a mobile thought. So this is how you are noticing the change which is occurring in your mind. And suppose in this cognition you do not require any relevant mental change in order to see an object, then you know what would be the outcome. You would see either everything at once or you would not be able to see. If a mental change does not occur corresponding to a particular cognition, well, cognition would not take place. Even though eyes are contacting the particular object, but if a corresponding change does not occur in the mind, you would not cognize that particular object. And therefore, definitely a change is occurring. And you know the change because now the flower, now not the flower but hand, then flower also is gone, hand also is gone, then mobile. So all corresponding changes, the different thoughts are occurring in your mind, you are able to note. Different changes occur in your mind, you are able to note. And that's how you say also. Now I am not seeing your hand. Now I am seeing this. Now that also has gone. I am seeing this. I have, now I am not hearing this. I am hearing that. I am not hearing that. I am hearing something else. So you are able to note the change which is occurring in your mind. And therefore, definitely, if you are able to take the note of a change occurring in mind, you are the knower of the mind. You are knower of the thoughts. So this is how it is. So for every perception, there is a change in mind relevant to the object of the perception. And that change mind, of course, I know. So in fact, then we go one step further and we say, all the time is what is I see all the time what is happening in my mind. I see means I am not with the eyes. I know what is happening in my mind all the time. In fact, I don't see anything outside. I mean, I'm not knowing the external world. What is happening in my mind, only thing, that much I know. So whatever the form mind assumes, that is what you know. Whatever form your mind assumes, that is what you know. And that's for I gave you example of a rope snake. In fact, outside there is a rope, but your mind has assumed a form of a snake. Then you are not seeing rope which is outside, you are seeing the snake. And therefore you say this is snake, even though you show outside. So even though you show outside that is a snake or this is snake, but really speaking, you are only seeing your mind. You are only knowing your mind. So this is how the things are. So whatever occurs in your thought is what you are going to say that you know. So what do you understand from this is, all the time what you come across is only what is happening in your mind. So again I repeat, all the time what you come across is only what is happening in your mind. Outer world may be, let it be, whatever it may be. That's how even with the people, we are not seeing people as they are. With a person, you associate something and you see in the mind. So outside there is just a person, but in your mind it is either a friend, foe or something, whatever relationship you have, you see with that. So definitely outside is just a person. Outside person is not a father. Outside person is not a son. Outside person is not a wife. She is just a woman. This person, father, he is not a father, he is just basically a human being, and that too a man. But in your mind, because when you say, oh, I am meeting my father right now, there is no father outside. But anyway, so that's how we say, you are seeing only your mind. Therefore, you encountered the world only through the counter of your mind. So through the counter of your mind only you always contact the external world, and therefore you know your mind basically. And we have talked about in cognition. In terms of cognition, you can definitely, in terms of emotion, this is very clear, because when cognition, then you have to take help of the external data through the senses, and therefore you may have a certain difficulty in understanding. But when emotion comes, definitely emotions are not perceived through the senses. Emotions are called witnessed emotions are all witnessed. Emotions is basically witness perceived, directly perceived. There are two types of perception I have told you: sense perception, witness perception, and emotions etc. are witness perception. If it is a sense perception, definitely everyone will come in contact and everyone will express the same thing for a particular external object, but it is never happening. And therefore, emotions are just perceived in the mind, where even you are not taking help of the senses, etc. And there you are seeing only your mind, and that's how you are clearly able to express that what is happening in your mind in terms of emotion. And so you are knowing your mind. So you know, you tell very clearly that right now this is the emotion in your mind. Let's say anger, let's say love, hatred, this, etc., or a greed, or a sense of competition. All this different kinds of emotion, that to degree also. You say I'm really angry right now, or I have got a mild anger, etc. So all this, or depression also. So I'm extremely depressed, or I'm having a sense of depression. So whatever the conditions of the mind are there, you are able to clearly indicate that. Therefore, you are knower with respect to cognition, with respect to emotion, with respect to memory. A particular object you want to bring to your memory, a particular object you want to see which you have already experienced in the past, and you know very clearly, you are able to recollect that object or not, that also you are able to tell very clearly. So your mind has not brought the particular object which you have already experienced, but has not brought to you right now. And therefore, all this, even in terms of name also, it is happening, that you see a person, and you have met the person before, and right now you are meeting him again, so you want to recollect, and form is right there. The form which you experienced before, that form is there, but name you have forgotten. So you are trying to recollect the name, and name has come or not in the mind, that also you are able to tell. So what I am saying is, mind is a very intimate object of knowledge for every human being. So intimate that other people would never know what is happening in your mind. Never know. That's how I call intimate object. If it is external object, well, definitely other person also tells, oh, it is a pen. I also say it is a pen. But so it is external. There is a distance. But mind is such an intimate object. And being intimate, when the object of knowledge is very intimate, you are able to know it very, very vividly also. And that is why the person goes to a psychiatrist and express whatever is happening in mind clearly. He is able to express. For outer object, if it is suppose it is at this distance, if it is at a little longer distance, you may not be able to tell about the object clearly. It is possible. But mind being an object of your knowledge, a very intimate object of knowledge, you are able to tell very vividly. So emotion, memory, cognitions, and other all mental activity, different activities are there. Sometimes you contemplate upon certain things. You know clearly you are able to contemplate or not. You are able to concentrate on the particular thing or not. You are able to think in a subtle manner about this particular subject matter or not. All you are able to tell. So entire activity of the mind is a very intimate object of your knowledge, and therefore mind also should be included in known or in non-I. So now how much not I, how many things are there in not I? So I told, we have started with the world, you know very well, and the world which of course has two categories, even in the world being non-I, that is very clear to you, but not only just known, what is unknown also should be included, and that unknown we have told it as a knowable, because when I say world is known to you, you will have a question immediately. I don't know, Swamiji, this world. I may be knowing one or two or a few things. I am not knowing. Why do you call this world as a known, put in a known category? Then I say known plus unknown. Unknown means knowable. Not today, tomorrow you will know. And that's how it is happening. Many things in the world today we are not knowing. Tomorrow we know. So this is all the time happening. But ultimately world is in the category of non-I. Whereas I is a knower. Well, the knower is one in which I put a I sense. The world is one in which I put a this sense on. Not a non-I sense. And the physical body, etc. And it's very amazing. See, this is what the Maya is. In my vision, my body is included in the knower or in the I category. your body is included in this category. Your body is included in a known category. This body, my body, is included in knower category. It cannot be. If physical body is ultimately same, your body also has a certain weight, your body has a certain height, your body is a human body, your body is made up of elements, your body is made up of a bunch of cells. This body has certain weight, height, this body is a human being, human body, and this body also is made up of elements or made up of a bunch of cells, and it's the same thing. Then one is considered, your body is considered for me as a known, and my body is considered as a knower. And we have seen the two are very distinct categories, knower and known. Therefore, it is not that one can jump in other. Therefore, if one physical body is a knower, let's say this body is included in knower, then all the bodies should be included in knower. No. Then if your body is included in a knower, in a known, then this body also should be included in known. Yeah, but I don't know. So far as this body is concerned, I'm not ready to include in a known. Well, that's a confusion. That's a confusion. Because, but that's a body confusion. No, it's not body confusion. Because in this body you have an I sense. Therefore I call self confusion. I means self. So if body is considered as a self, or let's say other way, if I, Atma, is considered just as a body, well, that's a confusion. This body you have a this sense or a non-I sense. So this body also you should have a non-I sense. Well, but this is called self-confusion. That's where the Vedanta has entered. Other than the physical body, everything is known or knowable. Well, I don't have a problem. I don't need Vedanta at all. Because of the confusion, Vedanta's job is to resolve this confusion. Anyway, that is where this Upadesha, the teaching has a relevance. Teaching becomes meaningful when knower known non-discrimination is there. But why I consider this as my body? Well, that's the reason for that. That also Vedanta tells for that. But right now, let's say, this is happening in many other things also, for body also and for other things also. I told you yesterday, there are millions of cars, but you don't have mine or my car, that kind of a sense in all the cars. A particular car you have a car in which you have a my sense. Even the houses are many, children are many, all. Anyway, this is how the things are, and there is a reason for it. Even for the my sense, not only I, even for the sense which considered as a my, also is through the body only, but that we are right now just let's distinguish I and non-I. Other things will be taken care of later also. Anyway, and so if all objective world, all the objects, known or unknown, that is knowable, I have put into non-I category, including physical body, mind, senses, prana, and everything. And also, two more things are left over. Ignorance. Ignorance also is an object of your knowledge. You definitely describe your ignorance also. That these things I don't know. And you describe your knowledge also. That these things I know. So definitely what you know, also you know, and what you don't know, that also you know. So they are basically a object of knowledge. They should be included in non-I. And therefore we have come half the way to the definition of Atma. Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatirikta. Of course, Panchakoshatita, as I told you, these three bodies only, are put into 5 sheets kind of thing, 5 layers of experiences. And therefore, Panchakosha is nothing but the 3 bodies only. Because there is a physical experience, emotional experience, etc., etc. Emotional experience definitely pertain to the subtle body, physical experience that pertaining to the physical body, etc. And ignorance which you experience, etc. And other things are also there. They are all, of course, put into the 5 layers of experiences only. And just as the 3 bodies, Atma or I is taken as these three bodies. Same way I is taken as every layer of experience also. And therefore, when I say Sthula Sukshma Karana Shariyat Vyatiरिक्तः, we should definitely tell even that it is, I'm not this 5 layers of experience. Of course, it is going to be told because the Panchakoshas are going to be defined, and at that time we are going to see not only just definition of kosha, lastly we will tell that I am the one who is not these 5 layers of experiences. Anyway, so we have included in the world, entire world, there are 3 dimensions we consider right now: time, space or place, and objects. All objects we have put into a known category, non-I category. Now time and space are left out. Well, time and space also, you have never that kind of a sense. You don't put or you don't have a I sense in time. You don't have a I sense in space. So every cognition and object of cognition also is included, and of course remembered, and everything also is included. We have included every other thing. What is left out? What is left out is to be analyzed now, because left out is, I is the one who is a knower. Every other thing is object of knowledge in the world. Time, space and objects, all are non-I. Now, the I which is left out as a knower, who is that I? Other things are non-I, we are not interested, because we are interested in a definition of Atma, that is I. Atma means self, self means I. We want to know what I is. So what is non-I we have negated. That's correct. That's over now. But who is the knower this then? The knower in which you have put that I sense. What is that? So what is Atma, etc. Then we started also this thing that I is something which is invariably present in every cognition. When you say this is object of knowledge, this is object of knowledge, this is object of knowledge, definitely I is present in all as a knower. That when you say this particular thing is an object of knowledge, well, and then instead of knowledge I can write consciousness, because I is basically, I want to see it as a consciousness. The knower is nothing but the knowledge only, and therefore instead of knowledge, see, any knower gets a status of a knower only when it has an essence knowledge. When basically I am a knowledge, then in a certain situation, when a known object is there, I become a knower. If known object is not there, the knower resolves into what? Knower does not resolve into ignorance. Knower resolves into knowledge, because knower is nothing but a essence of knowledge only. If you look into the knower, if you want to find the truth of the knower, what is the truth of the knower? Is knowledge. And therefore knower is just a status of knowledge. When it gets a status when a known object is there, or unknown is also there. Let's say unknown. I know that I don't know this, if you want to say that. Well, so with respect to objects, the same knowledge becomes a knower. That is, and what is that object? Object of knowledge, we are saying, and I am that knowledge. So instead of knowledge, I am writing a word, or I am saying a word, object of consciousness. That's all. Without consciousness, no object is known. This much is clear to us. And now let's take again those objects of from the list. Take the cognition. And what is a cognition? The senses perceive different kinds of sense objects, respective sense objects. Well, and therefore there is a form consciousness. Form is an object of knowledge. Replace knowledge with consciousness. So there is a form consciousness. Form consciousness is equal to a form is a object of knowledge. Object of knowledge for whom? For me, for I. And therefore, initially only I told you that there are two categories. One is a knower, one is known. And just don't say known or evident. We say known to you. You are the knower and there is something which is known to you. Not just known, known to you or evident to you. So it is very essential to put this. And therefore, any object of knowledge is not for anybody else. I am saying object of knowledge for me. And therefore, object of knowledge means object of consciousness, and therefore it's for me. It's an object of consciousness for me, the I. And I is one who is consciousness. For me, it is an object. So, just take a cognition. I mean, the entire world we have seen in terms of cognitions and emotions and everything. So, cognition. If you take a cognition, in that also you can divide form and form cognition and smell cognition and taste cognition, etc., depending upon the sense organ. So there is a form consciousness, you can say. Form is object of knowledge. So it is a form consciousness. And flower consciousness, if you want to go further into that, because you see a flower, you see a form, a particular form called flower form. So flower consciousness, etc. And then let's go to other sense, also sense organ, and that is sound consciousness. There is a smell consciousness. There is a taste consciousness. There is touch consciousness. And in that you have varieties of objects. I mean, there is heat consciousness and cold consciousness, etc. Soft consciousness, hard consciousness. Means hard object in terms of touch or soft object in terms of touch. You are saying this is soft. Means that is an object. That particular object's softness is a object of knowledge for you, or it is an object of consciousness. Object of consciousness, that is you. Object of knowledge, that is you. But instead of knowledge, I am using the word consciousness purposely, because in definition of Atma, where we are now, we have crossed the negation part and we have come to the part where we are going to reveal the nature of I. There it is told Satchit Ananda Swarupaha. Well, the Chit is the translation of Chit is consciousness. But the knowledge and consciousness is one thing alone. In Upanishad, both the ways it has been told. It has been told as a Satchidananda also, Chit or Chaitanyam, or also it has been told as a knowledge also, like Vijnanam Anandam Brahma, Prajnanam Brahma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. So Jnanam also is used instead of Chit or Chaitanyam, and therefore I can replace the word knowledge by the word consciousness. And therefore, and what is that consciousness? I. Because the knower, when you say object of knowledge for whom? For me, I the knower, for whom this is the object of knowledge, you say. And therefore the knower, basically essence is knowledge only, and therefore I could definitely say, instead of object of knowledge, I could definitely say object of consciousness. And I want to show that this consciousness is invariable in all the cognitions, and therefore we can derive something from this. So consciousness is like in taste consciousness and touch consciousness and smell consciousness and form consciousness and sound consciousness. Well, in all the cognition, in which the sense organs perceive different objects in the world, well, definitely consciousness is present in all the different types of cognitions. Invariably present. Objects vary. Please understand this. All the time do this. Objects keep varying. Even in a form consciousness itself, different forms are there. Right now I see flower, then I see a mobile, and then I see a wire, and then I see a window, and then I see a bird. Anything. But in general I say form consciousness. And that form is basically perceived through a particular sense organ called I. When I perceive, a particular object, we call it as a form consciousness. See, I mean the form, and that's the object of your knowledge. And so the knowledge is invariable. Objects keep varying. Even if you just want to put this way, object of knowledge, just say object keeps varying. The knowledge, I, subject, consciousness is invariable. Either way, you can say. Same way, physical body also is object of your knowledge. And so you say body consciousness. This body is also an object of your consciousness. And we have seen that very well. Even in fact, in terms of senses also, sometime you can see the waking body you can touch. Waking body has a certain smell. Well, that also becomes object of your knowledge. The touch of the body also is a object of your knowledge. Smell of a body is a touch of, is object of your knowledge, object of consciousness. And same way form, particular form also you have. Well, you infer from you seeing yourself in the mirror, but definitely you come to know your form also. And therefore form also of this body, waking body, the physical body, is also the object of your knowledge, and etc. etc. And therefore I don't want to say taste of the body, etc. Anyway, so in same way physical body, this physical body, not only this of a waking world, of a dream body also. Dream body also, suppose you are touching in a dream to your body, well, it's object of your knowledge, smell of that body, etc. etc. Anyway, so the body is a object of consciousness or object of knowledge. So you can say, now I replace everything and saying body consciousness is equal to physical body is object of knowledge or physical body is object of consciousness. And instead of writing whole sentence, I say body consciousness. So same way hunger consciousness. You should understand hunger is an object of knowledge. Hunger is object of consciousness. Thirst consciousness, thought consciousness, emotion consciousness, so many. Anger consciousness, right? In every particular emotion it is present. In every form it is present, in every smell it is present, in every taste it is present, in every touch it is present, in every sound it is present. If you say sound is an object of my knowledge, if knowledge or consciousness is not there, how the sound is going to be perceived? It's not impossible. And therefore, the consciousness I is invariably present in all these cognitions. And then recollected object, etc. Memory also, when you say I recollect a particular object, I of course collected in the past, I experienced in the past and had an impression. Now I am recollecting, etc. Recollected object also is, when you say it is my object, it's object of knowledge. Well, so recollected object consciousness you can say. And therefore, what is invariably present in entire world of knowledge, including time consciousness, space consciousness, etc., this consciousness or knowledge is invariably present. The fact that they are just objects of knowledge implies that the knower, or which is a knowledge or consciousness, is invariably there. Without that, without knower being there, I being there, nothing is perceived, nothing is cognized. And therefore, the knower, which is essentially knowledge or consciousness, is right there, which is invariably in all the experiences. And same way, time consciousness also and space consciousness. I told, of course, we discussed this thing also very well. And so past consciousness you have. Past also is object of your knowledge. Future also, in terms of possibilities, you are future consciousness. Swamiji, future is not object of knowledge. Yeah, in terms of possibilities, that this will happen, that will happen, this thing will happen, etc. etc. So without a conscious being, how will you say that this pandemic is going to last for few months, etc.? How are you able to say? It's a possibility, but without a conscious being, who will tell about the future? Who will indicate even a possibility of a future? Therefore, a future time consciousness, past time consciousness, present time consciousness, past, present or future time consciousness. Definitely time also is object of your knowledge, and therefore you can definitely say time consciousness. Ignorance consciousness we have seen, and even everything. So it indicates that the what is present in all the experiences is one consciousness, invariably present, and therefore this all what we have described is all objects of consciousness. Then the question has come, is consciousness itself objectified or not? How will you know there is a consciousness, etc.? Also, this kind of question has arisen. Then there is a method to know, to give the answer of this question. What is the question? Is consciousness objectified or not? You say that is object of consciousness, this is object of consciousness, this is the object of consciousness. What about the consciousness? Is it objectified or not? So to answer this question, we have a method, and in which we say that all the time you don't perceive all the objects, and thereby you decide it is object of knowledge. Sometimes I just utter a word and you know the object in your mind. Like I say right now, pot. I'm sure where you are sitting right now, there may not be a pot. You need not have to see the pot to understand by hearing the word pot. It is just in your mind, because name and form, they have an invariable relationship, which I have, of course, name form invariable relationship I have come across. I have that relationship I have established from the childhood. Initially, this thing is by mother. When I'm too small, she introduces a particular object by different names. First, look at this. It's a cow. Then, and as a child, I used to see, this is an object, and mother told the name cow. So a child connects a name cow and the particular object, animal. Then it's not get registered. I don't, immediately put an invariable relationship between a cow, name cow or a word cow, and the object cow. Then again cow comes, and of course different cow. And therefore, and she again tells, let's say, look at this cow. But that's enough, 2-3 times or 4 times. And when the 5th time some new cow comes, I will, as a child, I say, the cow, like that I say. Therefore, a name and form relationship has been established since a childhood. And many new names are discovered, and I discover the forms also. That's how the knowledge takes place. Knowledge of names and forms. But anyway, so when I utter a word, you immediately you bring an object in your mind. Need not be outside. And then I say to you that suppose if I say a wire, in your mind immediately a wire appears. I say camera, and in your mind camera appears. I say a brush, and in your mind a brush appears. Tree appears. Window appears. Door appears. Cloth appears. Book appears. Consciousness. Nothing happens. And after uttering the word consciousness, if I again say clip, then something happens in your mind. So that shows I'm not able to objectify consciousness even though you use a word consciousness. So the way I'm able to objectify different objects, I can bring the objects in my mind when you utter different words, pot, clay, pot, this, etc., or a window, etc. Same way, when you utter a word, Swami, you utter a word consciousness, I'm not able to bring some object in my mind. Well, that's what we want. So that's how the answer of this question you asked to us, that is consciousness itself gets objectified or not. We say, well, it cannot be objectified, because consciousness we have associated with the I, the self, the subject, and therefore basically consciousness is never available for objectification. That's what we say. And therefore, it is consciousness is never available for objectification. Then we give some more clue in this. Like when I say you think of a cow, then you definitely bring in your mind cow. Then think of a horse, you bring a horse. So when you bring a horse, when I utter the word horse, definitely cow is gone. Now horse has come. Then I say clip, then horse is gone, clip has come. And when I say camera, well, the clip has gone, camera has come in. Then I say pot, then definitely this has gone and pot has come. So definitely all this, please understand, all these objects of knowledge are displaced one by one. As I utter, as I think, whatever. So one object displaces the other. We are trying to get some clue about the subject. That's how I am saying. So one object displaces other. So definitely, but when I say tree, replace the the consciousness which is associated with it. Because I said when you say object of knowledge, and let's say tree. So definitely tree is an object of knowledge, means there is a tree consciousness. And therefore you can replace a tree by clip. You can replace a clip by camera. That's there. But the consciousness which is associated with it cannot be replaced. And that is why you say right now I am having a tree consciousness. I am tree conscious. So let's say other way. I am having tree consciousness. Then you say I am having camera consciousness. Then you say I am having clip consciousness. Then you say I am having window consciousness. I am having car consciousness. Yes. So objects of knowledge keep changing. The subject, the consciousness does not get displaced. So tree is, so I ask you to think of a tree. Well, it is not able to displace consciousness. And even in terms of ignorance also, of course we talked about, think of a ignorance of Russian language. I told you yesterday. Well, you say, yeah, I am having a ignorance of that. So that ignorance of particular language is objectified by you. It's an object of your knowledge by you. But that ignorance consciousness is not displaced. The consciousness associated with the ignorance cannot be displaced. Object can be displaced. Now if I say English language knowledge, well, the ignorance has gone. Ignorance was an object of knowledge and it has gone. It has brought another. Now it has brought a knowledge of English language. Well, then English consciousness or English knowledge consciousness definitely is there. Consciousness is not available for displacement. We could derive one thing from this. Objects are available or vulnerable for displacement. The subject, I, knowledge, consciousness is not available for displacement. So even in terms of time, every way you can think. Like, the past consciousness. Suppose if you think of a past, need not be past of you, past of anybody, past of the world, any object in the world. So you have a past consciousness right now. Past is object of your knowledge. So past consciousness. Definitely it can immediately, that past which is object of your knowledge goes and think of future. You think of what happened in last week in New York. And now on the data you now think of the future of the New York in terms of this pandemic. Well, definitely past was object of knowledge, now the future has become object of your knowledge. But so past which was object of your knowledge is equal to past consciousness. Future of object of your knowledge, future is object of your knowledge, is equal to future consciousness. So past is replaced by the future. Consciousness, these are all the time associated. So it cannot displace. time cannot displace consciousness. Please understand this very, very important thing it is. Time is not able to displace consciousness, reveals something very profound about consciousness. Space is not able to displace consciousness. Place means any place you think of. Or no, Swamiji, no place. I am talking about space. No problem. That also is not a problem. So, first let us think, any object has no capacity to displace consciousness. Object gets displaced one by one. But no object can dare for consciousness to be not present. Never possible. Since they are object of knowledge, knowledge or consciousness has to be there. And in fact, the existence of an object depends upon the consciousness. Because being an object of knowledge only, you can say it exists. Therefore, otherwise you cannot say. Anyway, that also will come. But ultimately, object cannot displace consciousness. Object themselves displaced. One object has a capacity to displace other, but no object has a capacity to displace the subject. It is never displaceable. And forget about in the world now objects. Then just another two dimensions, time and space. Well, even time cannot displace consciousness. As I told you, you can think of future, you can think of past, you can think of present. Well, past displaces present, or present displaces future, or future displaces present, whatever. That is possible. That's possible. But no one, either past, future, or a present, has the capacity to displace consciousness. That shows that the time cannot displace consciousness. Very important thing is, nothing really displaces consciousness. And therefore, it shows you are there in all experiences, at all the time. You are right there in all the things. In all emotions, you are there. In all cognitions, you are there. In all different kinds of knowledge which you gather, also you are there. You are, you are there in all cognitions also. You are there in hunger also. You are there in thirst also. You are there in past also. You are there in future also. When you possibility of future, well, if you think of as its object of knowledge, you are there also. Present, you are there. And therefore, nothing can displace consciousness. So, that's a very wonderful thing. And therefore, you are not required to be objectified. Because you are there in all different types of knowledges, different types of different types of cognitions. You are very much there. If you are very much there, well, you need not be objectified. If suppose right now this is an object of knowledge, so it is a pan consciousness. Now suppose this object remains in my mind, till then any other object cannot come. Suppose it remains, my mind suppose it gets stuck, it won't, but it gets stuck to this. Suppose no other object has a capacity to no other object has a capacity to become an object of knowledge for me. They remain unknown to me. But they keep on displacing one after the other, and that is how it becomes an object of knowledge for me or for the consciousness, that is I. And therefore, I, one which is subject, need not be objectified at all, since it is present all the time. Right now, this is present as an object. Then some other object comes. Then that is displaced. Now that pen has not remained as an object of knowledge for me. Now this has become an object of knowledge. Then the clip also can become an object of knowledge for me. So objects keep coming and going. As an object of knowledge, they keep coming and going. Well, the consciousness I, the subject, is present in all, and therefore consciousness need not be objectified at all. Without consciousness, no object can become an object of your knowledge, and it is present in all in all this experiences of all these experiences, or in all these knowledges, let's say, and all cognitions and everything, and therefore the consciousness I need not be objectified. That's the answer. Can the consciousness be objectified or not? Our answer is, we should not say consciousness cannot be objectified. Consciousness need not be objectified because it is present. What is present need not be objectified. What is not present at this moment should be objectified, and then one object displaces the other. So what does not require to be objectified is I, the consciousness. That is what the consciousness is. We have seen the consciousness is invariably present in everything, and therefore is there is only one thing, that is I, which is consciousness, need not be objectified. And therefore, and that consciousness is present when the objects are there, when that consciousness is present when the objects keep changing. Consciousness is present when there is no object. I mean, when such a state of experience is there in which there are no forms, no colors, no smell, no sound, no memory, no inference, no knowledge. Well, all no physical body, nothing is there. Still, the consciousness is there. So even the cognitions are absent, memory is absent, emotions are absent, all these things are absent. So-called objects of knowledge, all are absent. Even time is absent. Time, when even time is not there as an object to be known, it's not an object of knowledge. Such a state is there. Space also is not an object of knowledge in that state. Well, still, consciousness is all the time there, and therefore consciousness need not be objectified at all. What needs to be objectified is a object of knowledge, and that is time, space, or anything. And what is invariably present in all objects of knowledge, that's we call as a consciousness, need not be objectified. So consciousness alone is self-revealing. Object is revealed by the consciousness. Object is revealed when object becomes an object of knowledge. Without that, object cannot be revealed. If I don't know a particular thing, it is not revealed to me. Well, so all the objects are not self-revealing, but the consciousness which is present in all is self-revealing, and that is referred as I. We started with the knower and known, but ultimately we came to know the knower is essentially the knowledge. We call them as a knower because the known things are there. So in such a state when no known thing are there, no objects are there, time, space, or any other thing, I cannot call it as a knower. Well, the knower resolves into its essence called knowledge or consciousness. And therefore, consciousness is present in all the states, whether objects are there or not. And it is objects are revealed or not. Objects are revealed through consciousness. They become object of knowledge through the consciousness. Whereas consciousness, without even being objectified, it is all the time present in all when you know all objects of knowledge, it is present in all the experiences. And therefore, in all cognitions, memory, etc., everything is present. Consciousness is self-revealing. Everything else needs consciousness to get revealed, and consciousness doesn't require to be revealed by any other thing. Consciousness is self-revealing. Object is revealed by the consciousness. Consciousness is revealed by itself. That's called self-revealing, and this is how it has been. I is a self-revealing Atma, and need not be revealed. And for that, there is an example, etc. I think I will give you that example in afternoon class, because there is some connected topic to there also, which we will discuss something more about this aspect, why consciousness need not be why consciousness should not be objectified, or cannot be objectified, not should not be, why consciousness can't be objectified. We have to understand this very clearly. And self-revealing indicates it is Chaitanyam or Chit. What is self-revealing? Of course, is going to be self-existent also, because knowledge and existence always goes together. When I say I know a particular thing, then the existence is established. When I say this particular thing is existing, well, then I say it is known also. Either way, but we'll see that. We'll see. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.